Well, howdy there, sports fans. This is your host, ID Jester. As many of you know, I did a full review of the Inside Pitch baseball game the other day, and one of the things I talked about in the review was the ability to add in logos and photographs of your players and such. And I did realize there was a way to do that, and Bill, one of the Inside Sports game guys, had contacted me through email to let me know that yes, indeed, all of the Inside Sports games does have that ability to actually import your own photographs and your own logos into the game. So I'm going to be spending this video and going over the process really quickly for anyone out there that would like this information to know how to import logos and photographs into your games. We're going to be using Inside the Crease Hockey as our base, kind of to show you guys what to do, and then go into Inside Pitch Baseball as well because it's done just slightly different inside of the inside pitch, but pretty much the same process for both of them. I am going to go over it fast, what I'm doing here. I am going to explain what I'm doing, but if you need be, you might just need to rewind the video if you're watching this on the YouTube later. So as you can see here, we have our Inside the Crease Hockey. We've got our logos here. We got the Penguins. We got the Anaheim. We got all of our different players here. You can see here's Paul Martin's photograph here. We have Chris Kunitz. We have Hampus Lundgren, Ryan Kessler here. You know, all kinds of different photographs for all the players. But you notice Sidney Crosby is not in here, so we do not have it actually in the game at this point, and we're going to change that. So we're going to exit out of the game, and it's a good idea to exit out of the game so that way when you load it up the game, it'll load up all those images. So of course, we're just going to go to the internet and try to find us a picture. So we'll go and to Sidney Crosby here. I'm going to use Google here and just do a search, and then I'm going to go to images, and there's billions and billions of images. I'm going to find one that I like, just because I like this photograph here. It's kind of high def and everything. I'm just going to click on it. It's going to bring it up in a little window here. I should mention that I'm using version 7 of Windows, so you might, if you're using a different version of Windows, it might be slightly different for you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to find this image, I'm going to right click on it, I'm going to save the picture as, and I'm going to save it to my desktop here. And there's two ultra important things that you need to do when you're saving the name of it. Sidney Sidney Crosby. So you have to name it exactly the name of the person that you are going to be using the file for. So obviously Sidney Crosby, we need to name it Sidney space Crosby, just like that. And the second thing is it does need to be a JPEG file. So those are the two kind of requirements. You have to have the name exactly as it is inside the game. So you know, if if they're using maybe like nicknames or something like Sid the Kid, you can't just put in Sid the Kid or whatever. You have to name it exactly what the player's name is in the game. And again, make sure it's a JPEG. And we're going to save it. And what I'm going to do is just save it to my desktop. I'll try that again. Save picture as. This time click on desktop. And here, let's be Sidney Crosby. And it's a JPEG and hit save. And yep. All right. I know why, because it's on my other screen. There we go. So there's our Sidney Crosby picture. Right there it is. All right. So now all we have to do to get that inside the game, right? Well, there's several things that you have to take into consideration before you just import your pictures, all right? Number one, it should be taller than it is wide. So you can see here, if we just bring this up, you can see this is actually wider than it is tall. So if we import this picture inside the game, it's going to squish it down and it's going to make it look a little funny. So you know, if you find picture that is taller than it is wide, like, you know, this picture here would be perfect, you know, absolutely perfect. We can save this one, right click, save picture as, just name it Sidney Crosby, make sure it's saving as a JPEG, and we are good to go. If you do save one and it's wider than it is tall, then all you have to do is go in and edit it real quick. What I'm going to do is just go in and open it with Paint, and I'm going to just select the part of the photograph that I want. Oops, select, there we go. And you can see if I save it like this, it is now taller than it is wide. And then I'm just going to crop it. Boom, there we go. It's taller than it is wide, or pretty close. In fact, I might even crop it a little bit more. There we go. Oh, awesome. Look at that. Now what we're going to do is File, Save, and close this out. And you will notice now it's changed our image that we had saved before. And all we have to do is then take this image and put it inside the proper folder. So what you want to do is you want to go to your computer and go to your C drive. Go to your program files, find your Inside Sports Games folder. Hopefully you got lots of folders inside that with your baseball, basketball, football, hockey, tennis, all those. You're going to find the folder that you're going to be using. So inside the Crease Hockey, you're going to be looking for a folder called Images. We double click that, and there will be two folders inside that, one called Start and one called Players. And what you're going to do is just take it, right click on it, drag it over, and if you let go of your mouse button as you got the picture over, it'll say what do you want to do here. And in this case, I want to move it here. And you can see it kind of gives me a little semblance there. Boom, 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 right? And now if we load up the game,
Flyers penalty on number 8,
just a second
Dave
here.
Schultz. 2 minutes for hooking, 2 minutes for roughing.
Oh, nice guy.
Alright, so if I just go to game, play a schedule, and find Pittsburgh, Anaheim, that's good. I'm just going to go with no sound just so you guys can hear me okay. And alright, now we need to go to the home lineup, right? Yep, sure, okay, drop the puck, here we go, boom, boom, boom. And remember how we didn't have a Sidney Crosby before? Now when he takes a shot, there's our image of it right there. Boom. So if you click on it, if you click on a shot or whatever to take away or hit or block or whatever for the player, and you don't see the picture there, then you put it into the wrong folder. It's not named correctly, or it's not a JPEG. One of those three things. So for Chris Letang, it's got to be KRIS space LETANG, just like it is here. Hampus Lundholm, whoever the heck he is. Sorry, Hampus here. Oops. You have to have his name. You have to have all the names properly. So one of those three things. So a lot of times what will happen is when you go to actually download a picture, one of the issues you can run into is when you go to save it and go, oh, this is really nice, let's save this one. And you go to save the picture, it'll actually try to save it as a PNG file. Sidney Crosby. Well, you can save it as a PNG file, rename it to Sidney Crosby, say save. Okay, and then we're just basically going to do the same thing. I'm just going to exit out of this real quick. Game exit. All right. So here's our one that I just downloaded. If I click on it, there it is. It's super cool and everything. Problem is this picture won't work because it's a PNG file. So what I have to do is just go in, open it with Paint again. And in this case, again, one of the things you want to worry about is making sure the picture is taller than it is wide. So what I'm going to do is just crop it again. There we go. That's a perfect. Now, File, Save As. You want to go Save As this time because what we want to do is we want to change it from a PNG to a JPEG file, just like that. and we're going to hit save, and it'll say any transparency will be lost in this picture. Do you want to continue? We say yes, we want to continue. Same thing here. Here's our picture. We can bring it up and look at it now. There's what we're going to import, just like that. And again, computer, C drive, program files, inside sports games, inside the crease, images, players, and you can see I've got a whole bunch of different players in there. We're going to find our JPEG file we just created and dump it in here. And it's going to say, oh, you already have one that's called Sidney Crosby. Are you sure you want to move it in there? Yes. I'm going to just overwrite the other one. We don't really care about the size. We can have them whatever size we want. And then we can exit out and load up inside the crease one last time.
Flyers penalty on number 8, Dave Schultz. 2 minutes for hooking. 2 minutes for roughing.
Oh, right, guys.
Game. We're going to play, go to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. And doesn't matter which game we're playing. Sure. We're just going to start a random goalie. Go to the home lineup. Pittsburgh. Start a random goalie. Drop the puck. Oops. There we go. Drop the puck. Now when I click on Sidney Crosby, there's our new image there. So you can see it there. It's different than the one that we had saved before. It's our new him with the stick over there. Again, you can just use faces, whatever you want. You can put the image in there. Now let's talk about logos. Logos are just about the same, but there is some difference. So I do want to cover that as well. We're just going to exit out of this right now. Thank you. All right. So let's find a team that we haven't actually done yet. Let's try Buffalo Sabres. All right, we're going to go to this Buffalo Sabres. You know what? Let's do logo. Let's find a logo for them. Now, there are some restrictions on the logo in that it has to be 68 pixels by 68 pixels in size. It has to be a JPEG, and you can name it anything you want, so it doesn't matter the name. So you can see here that I like this buffalo head one, that's pretty cool. But you can see it's 1219 by 1024. So if I resize this, it's going to kind of squish it together a little bit and kind of alter the image. So the best images you can find for your logos are those images that are going to be, see if I can find one. This is a good example. It's 1024 by 1024. So when I resize this, it's going to keep the same shape because it's currently the same height as the same width. This one would not be a very good one because when I resize this, it's going to squish the buffalo all together and it's going to look weird. Same thing with this one. You know, if you can find one that's pretty close, this is 750 by 550, so it's only going to squish it a little bit. It might not look that bad. But in my case here, 1024 by 1024, that's perfect. So I'm going to click on it, let it load. I'm going to save picture as, and again, I can name it anything, and you can see it's now a PNG file. Well, that's okay. We're just going to leave the name as Buffalo Sabres logo, and PNG is fine. We're going to hit save. Hopefully it went to our desktop. Here it is. You can see we can bring it up. There it is. Now all I have to do is go into my photo editing program. I just use Paint because it's quick and easy. I go into Paint, and I'm going to go into Resize here, Resize, and I'm going to uncheck Maintain Aspect Ratio. If you don't uncheck this, then you won't, if you get an image that's not exactly the same size, you won't be able to actually go in and change the vertical and the horizontal pixels at the same time. So if you uncheck this, we're going to type in 68 by 68, right? And make sure we're on pixels, not percentage, pixels. So 68 by 68. Make sure and maintain aspect ratios wrong, and you should see a little tiny image of what you just had because 68 pixels by 68 pixels is pretty darn small. Now, File, Save As, don't go to Save, Save As, And what we want to do this time is make sure we switch it from a PNG to a JPEG file. Make sure it's a JPEG file. Hit save, and it'll say the transparency will be lost. Do you want to continue? Yes, we don't care about the transparency. And we can just minimize this out of the way. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go back to computer. We're going to go back to C drive. We're going to go to program files. We're going to go to inside sports, inside the crease, images. But this time, obviously, we're not going to put it in the player folder. We're just going to put it inside the images folder. You can see I've already got a couple for Pittsburgh. I've got a couple for Anaheim. Okay. So all I'm going to do is then take our new 68 by 68 pixel, drag it over, and move it in there. Boom. There's our Buffalo Sabres logo. All right. Now, same thing, I'm going to load up inside the crease hockey.
Flyers penalty on number 8, Dave Schultz. 2 minutes for hooking, 2 minutes for roughing.
Oh, right,
Now, this
guys.
time what I'm going to do is go to the data disk utilities, and I'm going to go into the team editor. So team editor under data disk, and depending on your data file, you could have multiple seasons here. Okay, you're going to select the season you want to use and then the team you want to use. So in this case, NHL 14-15, and of course we want to use Buffalo, right? You'll see if we put it in the right folder, you'll see Buffalo Sabres logo. Right there it is. And it should fit inside this little window here. If your image is too big, it won't fit inside this window here. You'll just see a portion of your image and you'll be like, oh, I forgot to resize it. So you can see our image fits in that little box perfectly, right? And so we're good to go. We can save the changes. And do we want to save the changes? Yes, we do. And our team image has been selected. So if I had NHL 2010, 2011, I would have to also click on that one as well and make the change. So you can see here for example, this is a good example. If I go to Pittsburgh here for 14-15, you can see I've changed the logo. But in our demo database, if I look at Pittsburgh, I have no image there. So for every season file you own, you need to just attach the image to that. So I just go to my demo, I go to Pittsburgh, and I can select one of my logos. You can see this logo here, I did re-image, and this is, you can see, way too big. It doesn't fit inside that little box there. And I did that on purpose to show you guys if you don't resize them, they won't fit inside that box and you'll have a problem. So make sure you resize them. 68 pixels by 68 pixels. Let's go ahead and save our demo Pittsburgh changes there. Boom. And now that logo will show up if I play the demo file, which I probably will never do, but in case I have it now. But we go back to our Buffalo. If we saved it right and everything's good, you should see that come up. So if we load a game here with Buffalo, let's play schedule. Let's go to Buffalo and Columbus at Buffalo. Sure, sounds good. That's fine. I don't, just using this as a test. Home, there we go. Buffalo, drop the puck. All right, you can see our Buffalo Sabres image right there. You will notice that we don't have one in the system for the Columbus Blue Jackets. So theirs has just got the ITC logo inside the crease. And if we click on the player portraits, you will notice there's no player portraits because I haven't imported any portraits for any of these players on these teams. So that'll be blank. But you see our Sabres logo there. And that's as simple as it's going to be. You want to go in, save lots of different images here. If we go into Detroit Red Wings logo, sure. All right, again, what we want to try to do is find one that's the same height as the same width that we like. It might be a little difficult because, you know, this Red Wings logo is kind of longer than it is tall, so it can be a little bit of an issue. You know, this one's kind of cool. It's 960 by 960, so that's exactly square. This one's pretty close though, 1229 and 1024. So it's not that bad. Let's see what else we can find here. That might look cool here. Not really, not really seeing one. Here's one that's 500 by 500, so that would be a good one because it's square. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. We might even be able to type in logo square and see if it comes up with those images that are square for us to kind of narrow down our search. This one's not bad. 1365 by 1024. So when we resize, it's going to squish it a little bit, but you know what? It'll work. So right click, save picture as. Again, you can name it anything you want, which is different than the players. Okay, you can name it anything you want, and then save it. It's saved as a PNG file, so we have to open it in Paint, and we're going to actually what I might be able to do is just crop. Nope, let's try a better crop there. Crop out some of the red on that side and crop some of the red off on that side. So when it squishes it, it won't look too funky. That's fine. All right. More importantly, we have to save it as not a PNG file. We want to save it as a JPEG. And save. Yep. All right. And we're just going to take it and put it inside our folder here. Now, you notice I've done this like 10 times, right? Gone to the same folder. So it's easiest if you just right click on the folder, drag it to your desktop, and create a shortcut. So I've got a shortcut to it. So now I can just click on it and it's going to go right to the folder for me. So just a pro tip for you there. And so now I can take my Red Wings one and move it in there. There we go. Inside of hockey, notice I didn't close it out because I can do this without it being closed, I believe. Let's see, team editor. Yep, there it shows up. So 2014-15, just click on Detroit. Click on Detroit Red Wings. Oh, yep. What happened? I didn't resize it. Dumb. Right click, open with Paint, resize. Now this one we're definitely absolutely going to have to get rid of this check marks because you will see what will happen. If I try to change it to 68 pixels, it's going to change the other side to 53. So what I have to do is get rid of that check mark so I can say, no, I want a 68 by 68. There we go. Now file, and since it's already been saved as a JPEG, we can save it again. And now when I go in here, team editor, and go to Detroit, and click on Detroit, yep, it fits in the box. It didn't squish it too bad. It looks pretty good actually. And hit save, yes, and boom. Just like that, now we got a Detroit logo. And you can just keep this open, go through all the different teams, saving it, dragging it over. In fact, you might want to just keep this window open. Make sure you resize them, make sure they're JPEG, drag them over, and then attach them to your teams. There's only 30 teams, so it won't take you but, a few minutes to do, hopefully. And then you're good to go. You got the logos. All right, so let's close this out, and we're going to exit out. All right, and as I mentioned, I'm going to just slightly talk about the Inside Pitch Baseball one because it's done just slightly different. So not much, but let's take a team. Let's go with Detroit Tigers. There we go, Detroit Tigers. Again, we want to find one that is the same. Oh, there's a good one. It's 543 by 545, so very square. This one's pretty square. You know what? Let's use this one, right? So we're going to right-click, Save Picture As. I'm just going to save it to my desktop and call it Detroit. Detroit Tigers, right? And it's saving it as a PNG file. Well, we'll fix that here in a second. So right-click, open with Paint. Two things we got to do. We got to resize it, right? We got to resize it to 68. My 68. We say OK. And we also want to save as. And we're going to change it from a PNG to a JPEG file. Hit save. And there we go. We've changed our image there. So when we click on it, it's kind of little to see, but there it is. Now, again, computer, C, program files, inside sports, and this time obviously we're going to go to inside pitch, and then there's an image folder in that as well. And the same thing, the team logos are going to go just inside the image folder, right? So we're going to drag this over, move it in there. There we go. And the player photo, all your player images are going to go in the players' images, and all your player images must exactly match the name. So Matt space Carpenter, Jason space Hayward, Kurt. Think of some more players. Drawing a blank here all of a sudden. It's like Kershaw. Clayton space Kershaw. Thank you. I couldn't think of it there for a minute. Alex space Rodriguez. You get the gist, right? So exactly like they would be in the game. Okay, just a space between the first name and the last name. And again, for images, you want to just put the images of your teams in the image folder. Make sure you resave them. There's a very important distinction. The players, you must absolutely positively have that named exactly as they are in the game. Exactly. The actual logos, you can call them anything you want. So just don't get confused. I can call this, instead of Detroit Tigers, I can call this, nope, I just want to rename it. Let's just rename. I'm going to call this team 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. It doesn't matter what the name, what the actual name is. The only thing that matters is what you know it is, because when we go into baseball, inside pitch.
If you build it, he will come.
Well, then who's on first?
Yes.
I mean the fellow's name.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who?
The first base.
Who?
The guy playing
Who
first.
is on first?
I'm asking you who's on.
All right. So here we are in inside pitch. So it's just slightly different, and that's why I wanted to show you. The players are done the exact same way. You just put them inside the players folder, and you should be good to go. But the logos, you're going to go to data files here, and you're going to actually go to add team logo. Okay, not one of the other ones, but this is the add team logo. And click on your season file, and then find your team. Here's Detroit. And again, doesn't matter the name of it. Here's team 2, 3, 2, 4, 5, 6. But you can see our little image fits in there perfectly. And we're going to save it. Boom, boom. We're good to go. So that's as simple as that. And we'll do a player one really quickly just to show you. If we bring up play schedule, we'll do individual team. And we'll choose Detroit since we just did them. And we'll go Minnesota at Detroit. All right. And just turn that off. Choose starter. Sure. Let's go. All right. So you can see our Detroit Tigers logo right here. If we had player photographs, one would go here, one would go here. And you can see that this one right here is not there because we don't have an image for the Minnesota Twins in. But what we do want to do is get one for Danny Santana, right? Because he's going to be batting first. So let's find an image for Danny Santana, right? Danny Santana. Boom. Let's find an image for him. All right. That looks like Danny Santana there. Well, let's see. This one looks good. This one's even probably better. Oh, yeah. High-res picture of him. That's beautiful. Right click, save picture as. Just go to my desktop. And now DANNY SANTANA. Danny Santana. I have to spell it exactly right, and it has to be a JPEG. If it saves it as anything else, we'll just say let's just say it saves as a bitmap. Let's hit save. That's fine. All we have to do is right click, open with whatever your program is, and go save as, and just change it from whatever you saved it to a JPEG. Save. All right, good. So there we've got our image. Danny Santana here's a JPEG. That's a nice picture, actually. So now all I have to do is go to our folder, right? So where is our folder? Well, I made a shortcut for it here. There we go. So we're going to go to Inside Pitch Baseball, Images, Players, and all I'm going to do is drag Danny Santana and just say move in there. There you go. So there's Danny Santana. Good to go. You notice his picture doesn't pop in here though immediately. That's probably because we have it open. So what we need to do is let's just check out real quick. Oops. Detroit, Minnesota. There we go. All right, just turn the sound off for now. Home lineup, sure, play ball. Oh, there's image popped in because we already had it. We already had the game loaded, so it didn't load all the images of all the players. So you can see, boom, Danny Santana there. So then we do the same thing for the rest of the team or the rest of the players, or you can download some image files that you can find on the internet from some of the sports simulation websites that are out there. Sometimes you can find complete images that'll have all of them in there. Problem is, you might have to go in and rename them all because they have to be named Danny space Santana, Brian space Dozier, Joe space Mauer. It can't have an underline. It can't, if I do something crazy like exit out of this game, no. Let's just, exit out. That's fine. If I go back inside here to Inside Pitch Baseball, and I go to Images and go to Players, Danny Santana, you will notice if I misspell him, oops, come on, get off there. All right, I just take off the N or the A at the end of his name. All right, now if I try to bring that game up again, individual team, Detroit, okay, sure, let's go, sure, oh yeah, beautiful lineup, let's go, play ball. Notice Danny Santana's name, our pitcher is no longer there because the computer or the programming of the computer version of the game is looking for somebody called Danny Space Santana, and it can't find anybody like that. So because it can't find that player's name, it's not going to be able to put the pitcher in there. So that's as simple as you can remember. If your images aren't showing up there, you have to make sure that they're named, and also you have to make sure they're JPEG, because if I switch, let's go into Pitch Baseball, go to Images, Players, Danny Santana, we're going to fix his name this time, all right? So he should pop in there, but this time we're going to save it as, this time we're going to save it back as a PNG file, right? So we just saved as a PNG file. Let's see. That's a JPEG. We'll move that out of there. Move that up. Okay. So Danny Santana is a PNG file. So if we go back into the game now, one last time, Inside Pitch, play ball, individual team, and Detroit, Minnesota. We're going to start this game one last time. Nope. We're going to do it one more time because I want to fix the file and show you that, yep, see, his picture's not there. Oh, we did something wrong. If you did something wrong, one of three things: you put it in the wrong folder, the name isn't right, or it's not a JPEG file. So one of those three things is your problem. So in this case, we're going to change it back to being a JPEG file. Save as. Switch it to JPEG. Save. Yep, that's fine, and close it out. Now we go back in, you will see Danny Santana there. Oops. Nope. I didn't want to. Nope. Go back. Hit the wrong thing. Individual team. Here we go. Detroit, Minnesota. Danny, thanks for help. But we're going to show everyone that this works now. Home lineup, play ball, and look, there's Danny Santana's pitcher, just like that. So it's pretty quick and easy once you know what you're doing. I'm just trying to show you some of the stumbling blocks you can run into. Main thing to keep in mind is when you're doing your player photos, does it not matter the size? It can be any size. You see that the Jason Hayward one's a lot wider than the Matt Carpenter one. Doesn't matter the size. Of course, you should try to get them all about the same size as this, because when we bring up Jason Hayward, he's going to get squished in a little bit because it's going to try and put this image in there. In fact, can we do that? Yes, we can try. Let's do that. So we're going to play, let's see, St. Louis at Chicago. There we go. All right, so we'll have our team up to bat first so we can show you this. Choose the starters, sure. All right, looks good. All right, so there's Matt Carpenter up, right? So we're going to roll, and good old Matt struck out. Boom. Oh, no, won't let us. All right, well, let's see what he does here. 6-1. Oh, he did a double. Of course he did. You see how the Jason Hayward one is kind of squished in? It kind of squished it into that spot. So you can see the images you want to create are really tall and narrow. Okay? So perfect images are like this, right? Not this one. So what I'm going to do here real quickly is edit this one, edit with paint, right? And I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to take all that extra stuff on the side out, right? I'm just going to crop it. Now we're just going to save it because we know the file works. All we have to do is change it and save it. Now, let's exit out of this game because it's not going to change it in the middle of the game, right? So, but if we bring it up now, individual team, let's go to St. Louis, and they're going to play at Chicago. And I know I'm going through this really fast, but I know that you guys at home can rewind as many times as you want. So here's our perfect picture of Matt Carpenter, right? And it looks great. It's not squished in. It's tall. It's narrow. 2-6, 2-6. Oh no, Matt struck out. But look at Jason Hayward. Much better. Much better photograph of him. And you can see also, because they're really small images, right? Really small images, it's hard to actually see the player's face, right? So face photos work best, obviously. So again, what I'm going to do, open with paint, right? And this time what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select his head, get rid of all that other stuff, crop it. There we go, just like that. And we're going to save it. Of course, it's not going to change things in the middle of the game, right? So exit out. Let's go back in, play game, individual team, 2015. St. Louis Cardinals, game 1, take it off, and let's go, home team, here we
Play
go.
ball!
Play ball! Here we go, Carpenter, look at him, beautiful, right? Boom, 1-6, oh, he walks, nope, it's blank, sorry, Carpenter, come on, home run, 2-3, oh, man. Fly ball in left field. Hey, look at Jason Hayward. Boy, what a difference, huh? What a difference. You can actually see him now. So just keep in mind that the images you're putting on the screen are going to be really tiny. So having close-in headshots are your best option to being able to see things. And obviously cropping them so they're tall and narrow is your best option as well. If you have one that's square, turn the sound off. If you have one that's square, it's going to get squished in together because it's going to try and fit inside this little box here. So I don't know if, hopefully maybe someday they might adjust the size of these boxes, I don't know. But at this point, tall and narrow, just like that. And you know, when I made my changes to Jason Hayward, I wasn't, I'm just ballparking it. I'm not, okay, well, I got to be this tall and this wide. We can even do something like that. Again, tall and narrow like that. Crop it again. So now it's really going to be zoomed in on him, and he'll look really, really good inside the game. Probably, oops, did I save that? I can't remember. Did I save it? Yeah, I think I saved it. Okay. So you can see now his image is very similar to the others, maybe even a little bit better. Play schedule, individual team, 2015, St. Louis, at Chicago. This time I'll make sure to turn the sound off. I didn't think it was going to make that big a difference, but obviously it does. All right, Matt Carpenter, yep. 1-6. Oh, he's gonna hit it again. Let's see. Come on. 4-4. 4-4. Ground ball second. Up. There's Jason Hayward. Nice. Not squished in. You can actually see the player's face. Again, because these boxes are really, really small. It doesn't matter the size of your photograph. It's a matter of the box here is only so big. If you have a huge picture of a player making a slide into base, his head's going to be really, really tiny in there, and his body's going to be really small. So your best option is obviously getting some headshots, some close-in headshots. That's it. Pretty much just like that. Team logos, you're going to go to data file, add team logo. Slightly different than you did with the inside the crease. The football and the basketball and the tennis are pretty much all the same. You get your photographs, resize them, rename them. For your logos, you want to make sure you resize them, make sure everything's a JPEG, and you should be good to go. Hopefully this helped you guys. I know it ran a little bit long, but when we're talking about importing pictures and doing things, people run into a lot of problems because they don't know what they're doing. So I'm trying to show you guys step by step some of the situations you might run into. If you see the images, here it is, Jason Hayward, but I don't see Jason Hayward in the game. One of three things. Number one, you don't have his picture in the right folder. Make sure it's inside the player's folder. Number two, make sure it's a JPEG. If you click on it, it should tell you what kind of file it is, JPG. And number three, make sure his name is spelled exactly like it is in the game. If you spelled it Jason, Hay, he won't show up. For your logos, if they don't show up, you don't have them in the right folder. So if logos go in your images folder, you need to resize them to 68 by 68 pixels, 68 by 68, and they need to be a JPEG as well. All right, hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, be sure to leave your thoughts and questions in the in the comments section below, and I'll try and help you. Or post something on the Inside Sports website in their forums. Somebody there might be able to help you. All right, well, we'll hope to see your pictures and images in your next games to make it come alive and even that much better. So hopefully this helped. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.